Hello and welcome in. I am MissKinghorn and we are back here with another Sims 4 speed build. And this time we are building a haunted home spooky build ready for Halloween, which is like next week at the time of release of this. So yeah, this year has gone by so quickly. It feels like it should be like August or something. It's ridiculous. Anyhow, it is now October and Christmas is fast approaching, which I've got to be fair, I'm looking forward to a lot more than Halloween. So a lot of you know I don't particularly like the cults or vampires, ghosts. That's not really my thing. But I found the perfect reference image for this build and I feel like I should do something spooky or Halloweeny for this year. And for my channel, so here we are. So this is on a 30 by 30 locked in Forgotten Hollow. Again, this is a world that I go back to like maybe once a year. Like I feel like that's the only time I really use it. I've got to be honest. But let me know, is it your favourite world? Do you play here a lot? Do you play with vampires and stuff like that a lot as well in here? Let me know. I'll be interested to know what you think. What's your favourite world? Let me know in the comments down below. Into that. But this is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. It has a little bit of an office. It has a bit of a weird little nook upstairs. You'll see that later on. I end up putting the seance table up there because I feel like that kind of went with the theme of it being a kind of a haunted kind of home in here. Maybe the family that used to live there met a grisly end. I don't know. You can do your storytelling however you like for this in here. But yeah, we kind of have a bit of a weird mix. So although it's done in Forgotten Hollow, I didn't want to go over the top vampire because that kind of took away from the whole haunted house aspect. So it's kind of a bit of a hodgepodge and a bit of a mix of everything, I've got to be honest. So there is a lot of lots of different packs which I wouldn't necessarily think go together very well, but apparently they do. Sorry, I am still ill. This is like the third video, like the third week of this being ill. Oh, yes. Anyway, so yeah, the packs, there's obviously a lot of vampire in here, there's a lot of paranormal, but there's also a few other ones that kind of work that I didn't expect to work. So there's a lot of modern looks, the new kit in here as well. Vintage glamour came in quite a bit, which I was a bit shocked about, I've got to be fair, but it seemed to work pretty well, so I went with it. And then also the Maximus kit. Now, I've got to be fair, I don't really use the Maximus kit at all. I don't think I've ever done a build with it. I might have used like 1 or 2 pieces from it here and there, but it's not a pack that I particularly like. I've got to be fair, it's a little bit too out there for me, but it really worked for this build. So we've sped through a lot of this into here, and yeah, you can sort of see this whole build is starting to take shape. So it's quite a dark build, but I do lighten it all up on the inside a lot as well, kind of using a lot of sort of reds and sort of whites coming through as well, just sort of to add those pops in there. These windows, I love these windows, they're so good for like the old sort of style look that I love into here as well. And yeah, so a lot of you know I do like the historic sort of elements, and we don't really have enough of them in game, but these sort of windows, these doors, things like that, they actually work really well, I've got to be fair. I could do with some more. I mean, I know we're getting a castle kit at some point somewhere. It was one of the voted for kits. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know how we're gonna get it in a kit. It's one of those that you need a lot of pieces to be able to pull it off properly, and so I really don't know how it's gonna work, I have to be honest. But I'm excited to see what we can come up with, and we're definitely gonna build a castle or palace or something with it when it comes out, definitely. I'm just curious as to how we're going to get all of the details in for it, whether it's the sort of the windows, the doors, the archways, and then all of the internal furniture, because we really don't have anything kind of like that at the moment. I've tried to do a few like really old sort of houses before, and you end up having to like modernize them because you don't have the pieces necessary to build them properly. So that is always a bit of a shame, but we'll have to see what comes out in the future into here. But one thing you will see is I'm actually using the new favorites tool in Better Build By. I have to say I love it. I do have a few little issues with it, I've got to be fair, but nothing too major that stopped me from using it. It just was a little bit of a pain at times, but nothing that maybe a little bit of an update or a refix would work on. But yes, so this is pretty much the outside all done. The back landscaping is pretty much the same as well, I've got to be fair. Lots of these sort of big ferns, a couple of really tall sort of trees and bushes and things like that as well. And you see in just a second, I do something a little bit different out the back here as well. These plants I thought were quite cool. They looked a little bit freaky and a bit weird, so I thought they're perfect to get into here. And yeah, I put in some gravestones in the back garden. I felt like this was maybe a little area where their loved ones were in the back garden, so they'll always be remembered. And yeah, I thought it was a nice little touch to add to this home into here. And now we're jumping straight on to the inside. So this is that sort of main entranceway. Well, it's the only entranceway really, because we've got the back door back here as well. But it's that really nice little section into here. I've kept it pretty simple in here. We do have this sort of big cabinet with a few little plants and bits and pieces on, a little bit of clutter. I didn't want to go over the top with this build. I feel like I could have sort of furnished it all the way, I could have gone over the top, and you'll see a lot of this is kind of very basic and I don't damage it or anything. I do come back in at the end and kind of put in a lot of cracks and a lot of marks and stuff all over the walls, so that it makes it look a little bit more sort of abandoned and a little bit empty and things like that in here. But that is for later on. You'll see all of that at the end. But this is the kitchen here. So it's a pretty simple kitchen. I didn't overly clutter. Again, I feel like it's one of those builds where you don't need so much clutter. There is a lot of things that I sort of pull out. I have to pull out every build. They just make sense to be in every build. But for the most part, I think it was pretty simple, basic clutter. Cups, dirty cup obviously in the sink, and a few little bit of kitchen bits and pieces, some plates. I love those new stackable plates, I've got to be honest. Into there as well, and then just some bigger pieces. Why does that plant not snap to a surface? I don't know. It seems silly, but anyhow, that's life. Into there, and yeah, just getting lots of simple bits and pieces all over the place that make sense. And yeah, so this is something that I've wanted to do for a while, I've got to be fair, but never really found the inspiration or anything for it. So I've been sort of looking across all of the Pinterest boards, Google images, and I think I have found something that I can really work with. So that's why we've sort of done this. It's a little bit early, but then I feel like a lot of people are already doing this sort of Halloween build, so it makes a little bit more sense into here to do that now. This is the dining room in here. It kind of looks more like a sort of greenhouse, I've got to be fair. Kind of stuck on the side of the house. But it works out pretty well, and it obviously leads off of the kitchen, which makes sense, because that's where you want your food sort of to come through into there. But then if you've got guests or something, I don't know. It was the only place that I could really get in a kitchen and sort of dining room into here. And we do end up changing all of the flooring from that yellow to the red, which basically decides the colours that we're going for the entire house into here. The bedrooms upstairs are a little bit more colourful, and you'll see those when we get up there. But we do have obviously our main bedroom, and then we have the two kids' bedrooms. So one I've done as a teen room, and the other I've done as a child's bedroom. into here, which I thought worked out pretty well for like storytelling or something. It's a bit of a family home if you did want to live here. So yeah, you have that possibility in there. Alright, back to this build. So this is the little office area. Now, I wasn't really sure what to do with this space. I mean, I could have changed it up a little bit and maybe put taken the bathroom and put it on this side and then had where the bathroom is the office. Because it feels a bit weird having an office space, like study area, coming off of the kitchen. But I didn't really know where I was to put the door. So I kind of ended up doing it here. This is where it is in the floor plan that I was working off of, as I say, from the reference image. I kind of found a few more pictures of it on different angles and stuff. And the floor plan, there are things from the floor plan that I couldn't get in. So like there is that sort of top box room upstairs. I couldn't get a staircase up to it. I probably could have maybe got a ladder in, but I thought, I'm not sure I like the ladders that we have in game. I don't think I've ever really used them, I've got to be honest. Maybe if I was creating like an office, like a loft space, that sort of thing, maybe. But for the most part, they just seem a bit weird. And not something that I ever put in any of my builds. So I didn't really want to do that now, and I didn't know what to do with it other than being maybe a bedroom, but then that's just a bit weird. So I kind of just left it as a dud space in there. But if you want to improve it, maybe put something up there, then do that. But obviously if you do re-upload this build to the gallery, make sure you tag me in it as well. But yeah, we're speeding through this build today. We are onto the living room, so this is pretty much all of the downstairs now done. I have, as usual, skipped over the bathrooms because they're pretty boring. I feel like I do that all the time. I just sort of skip over the bathrooms, because once you've seen one bathroom being done, you've seen hundreds of my bathrooms being done. Like there's no difference between this and the bathroom I did last week or the week before. So I skip over all of those just to make it a little bit quicker, and honestly this video is sped up a little bit quicker than normal. It's always that sort of catch-22 of how much do I keep in the video to how much I need to speed the whole thing up, and I tend to go for like maybe a 3 or 4 sort of time speed. This one we've actually gone for 5 because I wanted to keep a lot of the external work in here as well. So normally I would sort of cut all of that out and we'll just start on the inside, but I feel like this build has so much outside sort of character and sort of presence. It's mostly about the outside of this build, I've got to be fair, and yeah, I want to keep that in, so that's why it's a little bit quicker today than normal. But do let me know, what do you think? What sort of time are you sort of able to sit and watch a video for of this sort of style? Is it maybe 15 minutes? Is it half an hour, 20 minutes? Do let me know. I try to keep them from anything from like 15 minutes up to maybe a half an hour, depending on what the video is. So obviously the Planet Zoo videos are going to be slightly longer, simply because it just takes longer to build a habitat than it does to build a house, and that's because you end up putting a lot more detail in to those, and there's a lot more sort of freedom with Planet Zoo than there is with The Sims. But yeah, obviously it seems a bit weird. I've done like sort of large 5 bedroom, 6 bedroom houses in the same time I've done a 1 bedroom starter home. Sometimes it can be a bit strange how sort of quick I can get through some of these builds and how long others take. But anyway, we are missing a lot of this sort of upstairs area, so we've come up here, and this is sort of that weird little area that I said about. I've put it up on a platform because I thought a nice little raised area at the top here would be the perfect place with that sort of seance table, and I feel like it would work in there really well if you are doing like maybe you're opening it up to other people, sort of to come in to speak to their relatives, that sort of thing. I feel like coming upstairs and you have that little area up there would be a really nice little space for that. So this is the main bedroom in here. It has like a bit of a walk-in wardrobe. I've got there. It's kind of like a little section off to one side in here, which I absolutely love. I would love a walk-in wardrobe, I've got to be honest. That's something that I really wanted to build in my own house, but I live in a really old house and there really is not a lot of storage. There's not a lot of room in my house at all for a lot of things, so anything like that is, yeah, not gonna happen. I feel like I would need to move to make that work, and I don't really want to do that because I like my house as it is. Anyway, totally off topic. Totally off topic here, but yeah, so you have that little walk-in wardrobe space, and then the bathroom comes off of that as well. And then on the opposite side of the stairs, and that's sort of a hallway upstairs, you have 2 further bedrooms and another bathroom in that kind of roofed in sort of little section there, which I thought was pretty cool space for it in there. Maybe there's a little vent or something to let all of the steam and stuff out. But then in this time when this house was probably built, you probably didn't have hot showers, so however weird that may sound, as a very old house, that's really what happens. I kind of felt like there was a little bit more space on the top here, so I added those sort of like suitcases, old sort of things up on the top here, and yeah, I kind of feel like it worked really well into there. And you saw little hints there of the bathroom or the ensuite from the main bedroom in there. So that's what I was saying about all of the kits and the packs working together, which I didn't really think they would, and it was a little bit of a strange one while I was going around sort of getting in parts of the modern looks, the vintage glamour, and all of that all working together really well. There's obviously this bed is a high school bed. That were matched in with a paranormal bedside table. So those packs do have some parts where they work out really well, but I did say earlier on that this was sort of more colourful aspects of this. So this is very much a purple bedroom in here. I was thinking more of like a teenage girl or something like that in here, very much into her sort of werewolves and that sort of thing. And you'll see the child's bedroom over the other side as well. I feel like with this I pulled out lots of different pieces, and lots of different sort of cults. So you've got kind of that paranormal, you've got vampire in here, you've kind of got the werewolves coming through. So you can kind of have it and pick it and choose it from whatever sort of cult you really wanted to use it for. It kind of has a lot of sort of different aspects into here. Now this bedroom is rather small, I have to be honest. I really wanted to get the organ sort of piano thing in. I think it's like a church organ. I think that's what it's called. It's like an organ. I've got to be honest, I've got no idea what one of those is. Other than the fact that it came with vampires and looks pretty cool in game. So yeah, I kind of had to kind of create a little bit of nook for that into here, which made this room quite small. I should probably have made this the kids' bedroom rather than the teenage bedroom, because you'll see over here the kids' bedroom is actually a lot bigger. But yeah, we kind of have to change this up a little bit. So I do change this up. I did try to get in a double bed, and it works with a double bed. You can do it, but I decided that I didn't want 2 teenage kids in here, or 2 teenagers for this build at like this point here. I was like, I don't know what to do with this room. So in the end, I sort of changed it all up into a kids room, and sort of changed the bed into here to a single, and voila, there you go. Now you probably missed about an hour in that as this room changed and morphed, and yeah, so that was a good cut of probably about 40 minutes, I think, just sort of figuring out what on earth I'm doing with this room, and lots of sort of googling of historic child bedrooms and trying to get that to work into here. It really didn't. But yeah, I like all of the little toys that I've kind of put everywhere. So you've got one sitting on this chair, you've got a couple here as well. You've got a couple of plants from the Star Wars pack. The build buy from the Star Wars pack I love, but I don't tend to use it because it's so out there. There's some really good pieces, and then there's lots of pieces that are just a bit like, nah, that I never use. So it's one of those things that I really want to use it, but I don't, because I'm not sure why it's even a pack, I've got to be honest. It doesn't really make much sense in terms of the Sims. Now, Small little disclaimer here, I did this on a medium wall height walls. I do then decide that they are too big and I change it down to a small wall height into here, and basically a lot of things have to kind of change, like some of the pictures and the artwork and stuff all just has to get lowered down. But this is where we come along and I destroy this build. I kind of like the fact that I've done it all nice and clean and pristine, and then I come and literally cobwebs, cracks, holes, plaster pieces, scuff marks, and I go a bit crazy with it. I've got it fair and I love it. It really fits in with this build as well. I think it's like that abandoned kind of look that I really wanted. Like, there was a family living here and now they've all just walked away. So that's definitely what I was going in here for. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Are you ready for Halloween, or is it still way too early for you? Into here, let me know. And what shall we do in the coming weeks for other videos? If you have any ideas, any inspiration, any suggestions, any themes, maybe you're doing a challenge or a collaboration or something like that, do let me know. I would love to take part and see what you all got. But I think for now I shall leave you here. We are quickly coming up to the screenshots, so this is the perfect place to say goodbye. Now you can follow me here on YouTube and also over on Twitch, where I stream 3 times a week, but on any of the social medias, so they are all linked down below for you, so do check that out as well. But until next time, stay happy and stay building. Bye everyone!